Hey dreamers, I'm Bryce and I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be Creeping Death? Let's find out. Cue the intro.
So give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Creeping Death, the 7th song from this record. There's only 8 songs, so we're almost through. And I'm going to give you a big old spoiler alert. I really like this song. It's got a pretty good chance of getting pretty high up on that list. But I can't just rate this based on whether or not I like it. I can only rate it on the following criteria. We have lyrics, we have instrumentation, composition, we have memorability, and emotional response. It's a scale of 0 to 4 for each one with a grand total of 20 points. At the end, we'll see where it lands. And if it ties with some of the other ones, I've got a whole system for that, but hopefully we don't have any straight ties anytime soon. We'll find out. We'll find out when we get there. Let's just get right into it. Creeping Death, here we go. Okay, I got to talk about this intro because, gosh, it's powerful. They should have opened the record with this. Why didn't they open the record with this one? It just hits you in the face. One thing I really hate about the live version of this is that Lars always does those first hits on snare, and then he switches to toms. I think it's better on toms always. Just always do the toms. Why are we using the snare in the beginning? Anyway, that's just me being a nerd. I really like that intro, but I want to show you something. We're chugging on the low E, and then we're hitting the high E, right? Or not a high E, a higher E, 1 octave up. But then the second time through, they're doing a minor third. So they get, or not the second, but the 4th time. So they... And then Kirk goes higher. So Kirk is actually going. And James is still staying on the. But it makes a minor third that sounds really cool. Something like that. There you go. So we have that natural build, right? We have just the hits and the holds. It's cool. We get used to the riff. We start a pattern, right? We're expecting the riff to stay the same, but then it comes in that third time with those harmonies. So it's still the same, but it's new. It's building. And then we have that climb down. And now we have one of the fastest riffs that they've ever written. One thing that's interesting about Metallica is that when they pick, we call it down picking, because instead of going, that'd be down and up. I don't know if you can see that. You pick down and then pick up. Instead of going like that, they're doing all down picking. And you have to have a really friggin' strong forearm or wrist to be able to. And they're doing it fast. And then over here on the on the fretboard, they're going. It's so fast. It's so fast. It's so fast. And if you think that's fast, it is. But try then playing it for frickin' how long is it? 6 minutes? Because it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. They do it throughout the verse. And they don't get to rest until the chorus where they're... So just already from the top of the song, they're already putting so much extra energy that none of the other songs have really had yet. I think there's been some really thrashy songs, but when they go, they're naturally doing up and down. But this one is all down picking and so freaking fast. Let's listen. That's faster than I was just playing. Drums. And this is slower. They play it faster live. New section. This is like the pre-chorus. And then just holding out an E. I love the scream. I love the opportunity that everybody gets to go blah on the one, just blah blah. It's great. It's so fun. Something must be done for 100 years. Back to that pre-chorus. Lars does this thing with the drums. This is like a Lars fill. At the end of it, it's straight on the snare. And it's like a snare, tom, and like probably kicks. And he does it so fast, it's like it's out of time. It's not a real, like, he does it faster than it needs to be, and it's got a certain feel to it. You'll hear it a lot once we get to the Justice record. He does it all, like almost every song, and then Justice for All. But it's a Lars fill. So the first time, straight playing, a fill. Straight playing, different fill. Really cool. Switching it up. Again, a start, an ending, a start, a second ending, repeat the start, the first ending again, repeat the start, a third different ending. Really cool. This is complicated. Holding out. Emphasizing those offbeats. Oh no, he doesn't emphasize that one, because then it goes. All right, straight. I can be wrong sometimes. Back to the main riff. Kurt. Nope, not here, not here. See, again, I can be wrong sometimes. It's okay to be wrong. I admit that I'm wrong a lot of times. Let's keep going. Push your fire. Did you hear the fill? Listen again. No emphasis. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Now, Kurt. Okay, I gotta stop it during the solo just for that jerk who said I shouldn't stop it during the solos. But it's important to point out that we're not just back to the main riff again. We have a brand new version of the riff, where before we were just hanging on the E. Over and over. Now we're switching up to the 4. Oops. There we go. So we're going up to that A. And then AC. So the rhythm has changed in this solo. And by changing the rhythm, we now make this portion of the song, this solo, feels a little different and new. It's a different rhythm, a new part of the song, but it alludes to the beginning. So again, we're talking about scaffolding. We're building to the riff. Right? We're building the song up piece by piece. We introduced the riff already. We played it a number of times. Now we change it a little bit. And that's just wonderful composition. Good job. Good job. And I love those snare hits. Now we have the pre-verse or pre-chorus. Hits. Now we're back to the chorus, but without the voice. And notice that we're in the chorus with the rhythm guitars and the drums and the bass, but the solo is still playing, and now the solo is less showy. It's more singy. It's more do 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 do. It's like they're trying to sing the chorus with the guitar, but it's not obviously the same notes. And then he's going to build up to this high. Going a little fast, building up the neck. That stop is brilliant. Stop and just a, it's like I don't know if it's a slide or if it's a pick slide. There's a difference between sliding your finger down the fretboard and sliding the pick down to make like a, but it's so cool to just stop, and now we're at a different bum, 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 bum. We got a halftime feel now, and the toms are just... I do have to say the live version is much better because you can hear the booming toms going boop 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 boop. Where this one on the recording, it sounds like he's just kind of going boom, 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 boom. He's not really doing much. He's just kind of, it's like he didn't really know what to play here, and he's since changed it as a boop 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 boop, and it drives a little bit more. But it is still a really cool change, a new riff. And of course, you all know what to do here. Soon, the next time through. Back to the main riff. Stop. Okay, so we have this really cool change. It feels so slow on the recording, doesn't it? If you've seen them live, if you've listened to the live versions, this feels really slow. Die by my hands. It's taking its time, but still a really cool part of the song. I love the stop bump. Bum, 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 bum. It's really, and again, a new section, a little tease of the solo, like we're going to go to a new solo, but now we're into a new verse. What was I going to say about that part? I was going to say something special, and I completely, oh, I remember. I was live. When you hear the song live, as soon as they start that riff, the audience starts chanting, die, 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 and I'm over here, the nerd, going, you're not supposed to start yet. It doesn't start till he starts singing. Why are you all saying die? And then, of course, James has since trained us all that we're supposed to say die at that part. But come on, you meanie heads. You're not supposed to sing yet. It's not your turn. It's not the part of the song. I don't actually hate that. I do love chanting that live. It is very fun. I rule the midnight air, the destroyer. I will soon be there, deadly blast. I through the steps and floor, final darkness, not never painted door. I shall pass. He always does stuff with his tongue when he's playing live. I don't know why. There's no reason to stop here. Okay, I do want to stop before this last chorus because I want you to listen really closely. There is not just James anymore. There's a lower voice. And I don't know if it's James doubled and then they slowed the tape to get him lower, if they brought in somebody else. I know that there isn't a lot of digital processing back in those days, so I don't think it's a digital effect, but it could have been some sort of a pitch shifter. I'm not sure, but there is some sort of a lower voice singing along with this chorus. So listen, see if you can hear it. So let me retire, so let me die. I'll save your body. Now the riff changes again. Once again, we have that same riff. but now we're changing it. Right? So it's a very similar riff, but changed ever so slightly. It's getting the most out of each idea. You have one idea carrying most of this song through, but changing it just a tiny little bit each time keeps it fresh and new and interesting. Saint Anger, I'm looking at you. You could maybe use this technique, but really, really, really cool. Dueling guitars. I do want to call attention to the fact that there are two guitarists in this band, but currently, because of mixing, because of recording and how balancing out the sound works, we have way more than two guitars actually playing right now. Usually you record a single guitar for each side of the speaker, a left side and a right side, and you can usually tell who is whom. You could tell which person is playing because James is almost always in the left speaker and Kirk is almost always in the right speaker. However, sometimes each guitar part is actually layered several guitars deep. So you might have one guitar just going, you know, just to emphasize the palm mutes. And you might have one guitar just going, right? And then you mix all those together to create the one guitar. Then you might put another guitar in the center, kind of in the middle, to kind of thicken it out, to widen so that it doesn't just sound like two separate guitars playing way far apart from each other. You kind of even out the sound spectrum by putting another guitar in the center or maybe left and right of center. You double up the guitars a lot, typically speaking, in recording. I don't know. I don't have the mix down. I don't know how many tracks are involved here, but we know for a fact that two guitars are playing the rhythm parts and two guitars are playing the lead part. And again, there's only two guitarists. Live, there's no one playing that rhythm part. The bass has to carry the low end while James and Kirk do the dueling solo. But during the recording, we have at least 4 guitars happening right at this point. And you can tell when they stop being dueling guitars, James will go back down the dun 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 to do the held out riffs like that while Kirk continues to solo. But I just wanted to point that out. For those of you who are not mixing engineers, who have never recorded guitars, there is a layer of sound going on, or several layers of sounds. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, we have the stops. 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2. These hits aren't on the 1. 1, 2. That's 2. It's on the 2. I'm trying to say it's on the 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 2. It starts later. It's not on the 1. Move back to the intro. It's different, just slightly, with the end. You got. We have a higher guitar there. Did you hear that one? So when the harmony used to be. Now we have an additional higher note, an additional fifth on there. So we got the first time, then the third time, we have that additional. So there's an additional guitar. We talk about layering the instruments. There you are, right there in the outro. We go a little bit higher with it. It's just mixed in just a tiny little bit there. Very cool. And then, of course, the climb down and the trash can ending, the solo. Now that high note that's ringing out, is actually lower down, but it's ringing in the amp so that you're hearing a high ring out from the top end, but it's actually a lower note. He went up. Cool. Very cool. I love this song. I really do. Let's talk about the numbers. Lyrics. What is this song about? Well, if you are not informed, this is about the plague that came over Egypt. It's the story of Moses leading the people out of Egypt away from the Pharaoh, and the curse that was befallen onto the kingdom. There was this whole thing about you got to paint lamb's blood on your door, or else the creeping death, the plague, will come over your house. The plague is also going to kill the Pharaoh's son, and that's the point where the Pharaoh lets the Egyptians leave, or lets Moses take them, and then, whatever. We won't get into the whole story, but this is a biblical tale, and a very interesting take on it, because this song doesn't have any mention of God. It doesn't have any mention of Moses. It does specifically mention the Pharaoh. It does talk about the bush of fire. So there are little allusions, is that a word? To the biblical tale. But what I like is that it keeps the mystery alive. If you're not familiar with Christianity, then you might not realize that this is a tale based off of that. You might think it's just a fictional tale. So, which, we could get into that topic another time. We won't get into that here. But anywho, keep the comments clean, all right? We're not here to argue a religion, because I have so much to say on that topic as well. But that's what the story is about. I appreciate these lyrics because they are sort of mystical, they're poetic, they don't come off conversational, they're written artistically. And that's what I want from lyrics. We're telling an interesting story, we're taking an interesting viewpoint, and we're doing it in a way that isn't just like spewing out of your mouth like these reviews are. They're not just top of the first thing it came of. These were written over time and edited and carefully crafted, or at least it feels that way. And for that, I really, really appreciate it. Lyrically, this one gets a 4. Instrumentation. How does this one hold up? I gotta say, that riff is so friggin' fast. There's so much going on in this song that to love, but that main riff is so flippin' hard to play. My wrist gets tired every single time before I even get to the lyrics. Before I even get to the first verse, I'm already burnt out. So props to these guys for being able to downpick that fast for so long. I can't ignore it. This song has some cool instrumentation all the way through. This one, big ol' 4. Composition. You know that I hate the verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus layout. This one follows that. However, there is an additional several points to this one because of the way it builds upon that main riff. We have that dun 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 dun, but then we change it in the solo and we change it in the outro. And the way that they build upon that, and they add, the little, I don't know, the song builds in an interesting way, and I love it. I love second endings and third endings, and I love the middle section, just chanting die over and over. It changes it up. It feels cool. It's interesting, changes the flow of the song. I love it. I'm going to give this one, compositionally, a 3. Memorability. How memorable is this song? Well, it doesn't hurt that they play it every single freaking show. Almost every single show. They play this song so many times, and somehow, unlike some other songs, Enter Sandman, I'm not tired of hearing this one. I actually really like it. It's really fun. I feel rewarded when I get this one live. If I go to see their concert and they play this, I'm like, yes, thank you. Thank you very much for this gift that you have given to me. So I think memorable, yes. The chorus, maybe it's not like as simple as Seek and Destroy, but it's memorable. The one thing that makes this so memorable, though, is Die. Die, die. It's so easy. It's just one word. You can say it. Everybody can say it. Let's say it together. Die, die. Let's not wish it upon anybody, but it is a very memorable piece. So for memorability, I'm going to give this one a big old 4. emotional response. I feel good. I feel happy. I'm energized. This category is always interesting to me. I don't know how to grade it the best way because it did get me going. Did give me head bobbing. You know what? Yeah. I'm thinking about it. I was going to give this a 3, but I feel pretty good. Let's give this one a 4. And with that, Creeping Death creeps all the way up to number 1 with 19 points, almost a perfect score. So close to getting there. This is going to be a tough, long, hard battle to beat this, to just get through the rest of their records. We have Master of Puppets as the next record. Can you imagine? This is going to be a very difficult list. I imagine that at some point, this is just a big guess from me. I'm going to bet that this top 10 board will mostly be filled with ties. Like, I bet there will be a bunch of 19s on this top list. So we'll find out. But for right now, there it is at the top. Creeping Death beating out Ride the Lightning by 1 point. And I guess we'll have to say goodbye to For Whom the Bell Tolls. But there it is. Wow. Who knew? So that's where you come in. Leave a comment below with whatever you think this song should get as a points, using the point system that I use. What score would you give this song? Please make sure to check out Midnight Notion anywhere you get your music, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, or anywhere else, even here on YouTube. I make all kinds of original music, and I also do cover songs from time to time. So if you want to hear a cover song, maybe you could leave a suggestion for that as well. And of course, hit that subscribe button to come back tomorrow for the last track on Ride the Lightning, the instrumental Call of Cthulhu. Or Cthulhu, but it's Cthulhu. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.